Welcome to Bexley English Comprehension Test 3 Exam Papers Plus. First step, you must turn up the volume. Now I'm going to sit back. The mic should sound pretty good. Here we go. So step 1, in this video I will read the passage with you. The good thing is I have never seen this passage as well. Let's have a look. Dear Island, a memoir by Neil Ansell. It is spring and the herring gulls have staked their claim on the roof opposite. So stake their claim, that just means, well, now the gulls, they're saying this part of the roof is ours. So write it with me if this is new for you. So that's a phrase, belongs to us. There are 6 pairs evenly spaced along the length of the block, and I know there are more pairs that I can't see on my roof. I see. So lots of gulls just sitting on this roof. They start calling at first light from a conversational quick fire. That just means they're talking to each other really quickly. Cackling to a full-on heads back, beaks wide. Oh my goodness, what is this? Yodeling. So they're shouting at each other. That used to wake me up every morning when I first moved here. Now I hardly notice it. That's very interesting. Based on psychology, if you hear background noise and it is brand new for you, you will notice it in the first week, but then by week 2 you won't even notice it. It's like people who live at airports. It's just going to be so noisy, but guess what? Maybe 1 week later you won't even notice the airplanes coming in. So at first, how did this person feel? Annoyed with this terrible sound, but now it's just normal. We keep going. From my window, I can just make out a little sliver, that just means a little bit, of grey ocean between the buildings. Write it with me if it's a new word. Sliver, well, maybe a small amount of something, could be fragment. Get a piece of paper, don't be lazy, write down the new words with me. You could hardly warrant calling it a sea view. So warrant is like promise or permission. If someone has a police warrant, they can come into your house just to see if you did the crime. But here it means promise. Though an estate agent, those are the people who sell places to other people. Though an estate agent probably would. That's quite a funny sentence. You could hardly call it a sea view, but an estate agent would. Yes, because they want to sell this house to you. So they're going to say, it looks like a really nice sea view, but this person is saying no. I did much of my growing up inside of the sea, so it's nice to know it is there. Walking to the beach takes 5 minutes. At first I walked down to the sea almost every day and imagined I always would, but of course in time I began to take it more and more for granted. Yes, this is an idea in psychology called hedonic adaptation, which means your brain just gets used to things that were once new. So it's very easy to take things for granted. It's a problem for people. So how to solve this problem? You need to be grateful for every single thing you have. Until I had almost forgotten it was there, at least when it was not obvious beach weather. You see, people get used to things that are good for them. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like people, if you just buy the latest phone, guess what happens? You might buy a phone now and then 1 month later, you hardly notice it because it's just the same. Your brain has adapted. That's why you don't need to buy the latest things, because of hedonic adaptation. So there's a bit of psychology for you. Oh, this comprehension video is going well. Sometimes though, I still surprise myself and take a solitary walk. That means you walk by yourself along the tide line. I walk away from the tinkling and chuntering of the fairground rides. So those 2 words are sound words. Now what's that fancy word for sound words? Beginning with O, one of the longest words in grammar, onomatopoeia. Let me give myself a bit of space. That's the cool thing about YouTube video. I'm just going to get rid of all this. So if you want to go back, you can always just rewind the video. So tinkling and chuntering. Well, the chuntering sounds like the trains are moving on a ride. Onomatopoeia. Oh gosh, how on earth you spell this word? Sound words. If we think of animal sound words like buzzing for a bee, And arcades, so those are just games. Away from the perfume of vinegar and candy floss. That's a beautiful word. Didn't expect that. Because you could have just said a normal word, like from the smell of vinegar and candy floss. No, perfume. We're telling ourselves it's a beautiful smell. Here's another really cool word. Aroma. They could have put away from the fragrance of vinegar. Write it with me, don't be lazy. Nice smell. So these words are nouns. So why is William giving this to you as nouns? Well, I'll give you adjectives. Beautiful smell, aromatic. Let's keep going. We're 5 minutes in. Let's hurry up. Perhaps I will see something unexpected. A storm blown, gannet, or a phalanthrope bobbing in the waves. I have no idea what that is. I'm guessing they might be birds. Just like the first word we saw today was herring gulls. I combed the flotsam of the latest storm. What does that mean? Maybe you're riding the waves. Let's keep going. And the shingle makes a satisfying crunch beneath my feet. Interesting. Sounds like this person is surfboarding, surfing the waves. And the surf smells clean and bright. Here we go. That's a cool description. Clean and bright. And I think to myself, why don't I do this more often? If I rise early, I may even have the beach to myself and stroll absent-mindedly. That's a cool word. It's like you're not thinking, but in this way, it's such a nice word because you're relaxing. Along picking up things that catch my eye, fairy stones and mermaids' purses. Okay, mermaids' purses. Maybe those are shells. Strange word there. Shards of driftwood. Shards just means pieces of wood. Smoothed by waves. Yeah, maybe pieces of wood fall off. And garish, that means really flashy. That means really flashy. Put it. What's another flashy word for flashy? Flamboyant. Over the top. Someone might be saying a bit too much. So the explanation is a bit too over the top. OTT. And when I get home, I unload my pockets wondering why I have all these things. Okay, let's pause the video now and then get the next page. Line 20. Why don't I do this more often? If I rise early, I may even have the beach to myself. We're 8 minutes in, let's hurry up. And stroll absent-mindedly in a relaxing way. Not thinking about anything. Put it. Normally that's a bad word, but here, you know this person wants to relax. Okay, let's keep going. And when I get home, I unload my pockets, wondering why I've all these things, and add them to the drift that has accumulated on my kitchen windowsill. That's so funny. That's so funny. It's like going into a shopping centre. You just buy lots of things, get home, unpack, and then you ask yourself that didn't really want them. You only wanted them because they were new. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. So in psychology, this is called shiny object syndrome. A lot of people fall for it. That's why you have to be careful whenever you go into a shopping centre. Everything is new, so now the encouragement is people want to spend money. Now here, we're not talking about a shopping centre. We are talking about just walking on a beach. But it's the same principle. I get home, you want to feel good about looking at all the things you got on the beach. But this person isn't feeling good. Look, wondering why. Yeah, shouldn't have collected all the stuff, mate. Wondering why I have all these things and add them to the drift. Accumulated, fancy word for building up. Now it can build up in a good way or build up in a bad way. Just like every time you watch one of my 11 Plus videos, you are accumulating your knowledge. You're building it up. Every single time you watch, you're one step closer to passing your 11 Plus exams. That's why you're still watching. To pass. To build. On your kitchen windowsill. Looks like this person is just going home and just putting it on the window. Yeah, what a problem. And then other people have to clear it up. Not thinking ahead. Alongside the fragments of coral and exotic seashells, cool word. Exotic means beautiful, but exotic can also be from another country that are brought back from tropical shores. Cool word. There we go. Tropical, maybe you're in a different part of the world. Now that the herring gulls are paired up, they don't wander far. Okay, so they're in twos now. A lot of the time they seem to spend on the grassy bank at the edge of the estate doing their gull dance. That's quite funny. They're just dancing with a look of apparent concentration. Apparent means clear, but really here we're saying, well, they kind of look like they're concentrating. They kind of look like they are concentrating. They drum their big flappy webbed feet on the ground as rapidly as they can. Rapidly means quickly, and this seems to be remarkably effective. Remarkably means very effective. It's going to work. It is going to work at bringing up worms and bugs that they can gobble. That's quite clever. Never knew that about seagulls. So they're making lots of noise, using this plan, using this strategy to get the food. Okay, 11 minutes in, we got, I think, 5 more sentences, job done. Gobble down. They also have a habit of ripping open any bin bags left out overnight and picking through the contents. Yeah, fair enough. So at the seaside, it looks like seagulls might be doing this, but if you live near the city area, maybe foxes do this. A lot of people complain about them, but not everyone dislikes them. Some people persist in putting out food for them in spite of, or perhaps because of the letters from the council asking them to desist. Desist, I think that means to stop or to discourage. I'm going to Google that now. Let Google save me now. Here we go, Google. So in order to work out the meaning of a word, type in the word and then put meaning. Here we go. Desist, they're telling us, it means you stop doing something. Each pledge, that means each promise to stop doing damage. So refrain, hold back, cease, suspend, quit. So, I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Just pause the video now and then, don't be lazy. Write down these new words, the yellow ones, and then I will resume the video. Okay, here we go. Personally, I don't mind the gulls. This is the seaside and our rooftops are just cliffs to them. That's really good language. I love that. Because they're just seeing it as a very high mountaintop. And they could have mentioned that. This is the seaside and our rooftops are just like the apex, the pinnacle of Mount Everest. They probably belong here more than I do. Ooh, that's really nice. Really nice language. Didn't expect that. I find it hard to believe I've been in Brighton for so long. It was not really my intention, my plan. I never thought I would stay anywhere for long. Maybe this person is moving around because of maybe their job, or maybe there's someone, they might be bored easily of a city, stay there a few months, then they move over. They move to another place. I think some people need that variety all the time. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing. You're always chasing something new. It feels as though I just washed up here by accident, stranded like driftwood, which is quite funny because that is one of the objects that this person mentioned that was collected on the seaside. When I tell people that I've traveled in the best part of 100 countries, oh my gosh, that was that was me guessing. Didn't realize this from what I said before. 100 countries, they sometimes ask me to name a favorite place. I bet you can't even pick one because they're all the same. Is an impossible choice. How do you compare beach with mountaintop? Rainforest, desert. Very nice language. But if pushed, I will often surprise people by saying somewhere close to home, the Isle of Jura. So there we go. Looks like this is someone who's just traveling around comparing places in Brighton for a long time, talking about the seagulls, talking about walking on the beach. Some beautiful language here. So we're 14 minutes in. That is it. The next video that will be shown is, it will be questions 1 to 13. Going to keep this video short. It will just be me reading the comprehension to you, explaining each part. That's it. So my usual way to end the video, top left corner, it will be the next one once I've released it. Bexley English Comprehension, questions 1 to 13, top left corner, and bottom left corner will be another good one. Thank you so much. I will see you next time.